From the time I was just a little girl, I just wanted somebody to want me and love me, and that is not to say that my parents did not want me. As I got older, I looked for love in some pretty ugly ways. I found boys and sex and alcohol and all the things that numb your pain from not getting what you think that you're supposed to have. Somehow thought that if I would find someone, get married, have a family, that then I would have those people that wanted me, needed me, loved me, and then I'd be fulfilled. And the problem was that I didn't know who I was. I knew Jesus, but I didn't know that Jesus himself would fill that place. Got married, had children, tried to raise them in church and do all the right things. My heart still was empty and looking, and so I became involved in some pretty significant sin. I got entangled into a relationship that I didn't think that I would ever find a way out of, and it led me to some really dark places. A friend of mine that I worked with at the time invited me to a Bible study, and the name of the study was called Believing God. On the first night, the homework was to ask God for something that you would believe him for, that he could do, that you couldn't do for yourself. And so in my homework, I answered the question that I trusted God and I believed God to end that relationship. I had gotten divorced, and so I just was miserable with how I was not fulfilling my vow to my husband. I moved to Abilene in 2003, and my daughter and I started attending Beltway. I continued to wonder, would there be a way for me to be reconciled to God? Because I really believed that because of the choices I had made, knowing better, that I couldn't be. When the Lord sent my now husband, Jeff Fuzzy, back into my life, he was very instrumental in helping me to at least break free from the relationship that was killing me. A year and a half later, we were married. We were not following the Lord's plan for our life at that time. We were still very much involved in a party lifestyle. Went nuts one day and drank a whole lot and said some things that I don't even remember, but I know they were awful, and left. And when I came back, Jeff asked me if I was going to file for divorce, and I said, no, I didn't have any intention of that. And he said, well, I really think you need some help. Yes, I drank too much and said terrible things. I knew that it was a heart issue, and I didn't know how to say something's going on in my heart, and can y'all help me find an answer to that? One evening in worship, the Lord just spoke to me, and he said, child, why don't you just give up your anger and let me love you? I just broke because I wanted to not be angry. I was just really frustrated again about how I thought I was really doing well in my recovery, but I wasn't getting any affirmation from Jeff. And so I was grumbling about it one day, and the Lord spoke to me again. He said, Ladean, do you realize that you're more in love with Jeff than you're in love with me? I hadn't realized that, but it was true. Somehow when we ask the Lord to change us, we think that's going to look pretty, and he's just going to, kind of come in and do a little bit of work in our heart. When I encounter people in recovery who are desperate to stop doing a thing, I'm glad, because if you're desperate to stop doing a thing that's destroying you, we can go with that. But it's not okay just to not do the thing, because if you're going to just stop doing whatever it is that you're doing that's causing you so much chaos, that's not your purpose. And if you don't even know what that is, it's okay, because all of us are created for the same purpose, number one, and that's just to honor and glorify the Lord. I know every day when I wake up that who I am, who I belong to, and that God has purpose for me in the day. You're not bound by things of the world. You're not bound by things of the enemy. You always just get to just take everything to the Lord.